All right. Welcome to the Indie Corner. We're talking about all things independent comics. I'm Mikey.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Thomas, who may or may not be Deathsaurus.
And today, people are back again with another episode of the Indie Corner podcast where we're doing our coverage of Transformers More Than Meets the Eye. And today, we're doing Volume 5, which covers issues number 17 to 22. So, yeah, we're excited. I read a lot more than I read last time. So, that's something. So, it's a little bit of a record.
Yeah,
And,
it's going to be a hefty episode today and made even harder by lack of reading, but we'll get through it.
No, it's fine. I read most of it, so I think it's just the last part I didn't read. So, and I kind of like that I didn't read the last part because I want to be surprised. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't read anything. I'm just waiting to see one particular character.
All right, yeah, but we'll just get right into it. But like, leave a like if you want us to keep doing. Well, we're gonna keep doing this no matter what you do. But
like us anyway.
That's nice, yeah. All right, Rebecca. So here's your thingy, and we're gonna do issue number 17.
Yeah. So issue 17. This volume starts off shortly after where we left the last issue of the last volume. So Tailgate here has found out that he only has 3 days to live and is dying of cybercrosis. According to Ratchet, that basically means he's dying of old age, something they only somewhat recently learned was possible. And the side effects of dying are not pretty. Everything in his body will start to shut down. He can no longer transform. His limbs will freeze up. He'll go blind. He might lose his memory, along with other unpleasant things. As he's relaying this info to Cyclonus and telling him to keep this between them, Cyclonus is like, "Oh, you're dying in 3 days? I have to go now." And then he proceeds to do some unhealthy coping mechanisms.
That's what I thought was wild. I was like, why is he just like harming himself? Well, he didn't want to like destroy the like break the mirror, but like, I'll just do it to myself because I have issues. So
he's just an angsty emo boy, and I love him. While this is happening, Rodimus learns that Ultra Magnus's body wasn't stolen so much as it kind of just got up and walked away, taking a shuttle off the ship. However, they were able to trace the shuttle signal.
Mm-hmm.
Following the signal leads the ship to a giant portal, and Rodimus tells the crew how he's already decided they're going to go through it so they can either share the adventure or leave.
I like how it gives them an option. That's very courteous.
He doesn't really, because he says he's already decided. You don't get a choice.
Yeah, you don't get a choose.
As they cross through, a moon comes into view. By all accounts, this appears to be Luna 1, known as the Miracle Moon. Myths claim you can find the answer to your every question here. However, even though it looks deserted, scanners are picking up a billion life signs. So Rodimus begins to put an initial team together to explore the moon. Swerve tries to get on, but the team but is turned down since all he's done so far is bartend, even though he's technically a robot dermatologist.
Bartending is a useful role on a ship. You have to have downtime on a ship because you're stuck. You don't want to get cabin fever, so use alcohol to do that. Alcohol deals with it.
Yeah, that's why all the cruise lines are just filled with bars.
Yeah.
So as Rodimus recruits Ratchet, we also get this quick little character moment that Rodimus is especially interested in the moon because that means their quest isn't just a joke to everyone back home.
Mm-hmm.
We also see that as a condition for Cyclonus joining the team, Tailgate is allowed to tag along, but Cyclonus says they can't use this just as a chance to find a cure for his disease, and that he should, and that he shouldn't hope for a cure because hope is a lie. With that, the team heads out and manages to find the stolen shuttle. Magnus isn't there, and it appears the cockpit was smashed from the outside in. As Rodimus starts to go for a closer look, lights begin to shine to the point where they can see them from space back on the ship.
That's so pretty. I love this page. It was so pretty.
Yeah, there's some cool like planet shots in this.
Mm-hmm.
So these lights are the life signs that the ship's scanners were picking up. There's sparks, and if you put them in a body, then bam, you got a new transformer. Anyway, Brainstorm says that Rodimus must have caused this when he stepped off his hoverboard thing, to which he says it must be because he's carrying half of a matrix of leadership.
Mm-hmm. Does B have the other half?
Yes.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
saw that all the way back in our first.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So back on the Lost Light, the bridge's transmissions to the team are blocked, and down in the oil reserve, Skids is alerted by a familiar voice, and we see those giant robots pop out of the oil.
1984.
I was really happy to see this because I wanted this to come back, and you said it would, and thanks for that. Because that really annoyed me when we first did that first volume. I was like, this has to be important.
Yeah, we get a lot of cool Skids moments in these next couple issues.
Mm-hmm.
So as we pull back, we see that the ship has somehow been overrun with these goons. Back on the moon, the crew find a green spark, which, if you'll recall, is the rare type Overlord had, and argue over if it's ethical to take it before they're attacked. So off panel, the ground team is imprisoned by Decepticons for trespassing. We also see that they're stuck there with this other robot, this green guy here, who says to call him Andis, which, if that name sounds familiar, is also part of the name of Rewind's missing friend.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, we end this issue with Ratchet being blown up during the Decepticon attack, only to find Pharma, now with a chainsaw hand, standing over him. The end.
He's back. The anti-Ratchet is back with a fucking chainsaw hand.
It's
for
too
no
bad
reason.
Matt died for this episode because he would have loved to see Pharma
Dude,
again.
Matt would have Matt because Matt loves Pharma for some reason, and like the fact that he came back for this is just hilarious. With a chainsaw hand, like this man, like he's like fucking what's his name? The dude
Leatherface.
Yeah, like Leatherface, or like
Marcus from Gears of War.
Or Marcus, or like the guy from Evil Dead. I can't forget his name.
Ash Williams.
Yeah. Ash. He's the Ash Williams of this fucking comic.
I think that's giving him too much credit.
Okay, he's the evil Ash Williams. He's the evil Ash Williams of this comic, and I think it's hilarious.
Groovy.
Yes. But yeah, I like this issue. I thought it was fun. I mean, I feel like Tailgate gets a lot more a bit because he's dying and all, and I do like the fact that they show like a ticking clock of like how many days he has, which is, I think it's only like 3 days, which is like very sad.
Yeah, it's not constantly in the issue, but it pops up every once in a while to like remind you, like, hey, we're on a clock here.
Yeah, exactly. There's some really cool looking, like I would say, like some planetary shots. Some like that portal shot is really well done. I love the fact that the RODIMUS is like, yo, my God, we're actually finding something here. This journey wasn't for nothing, because they think we're losers back home. It's hilarious.
They can't make fun of me anymore. I did something.
Exactly.
We'll see by the end of this arc that RODIMUS does have something to kind of brag about now.
No, it's hilarious, and I think it's so funny. And then Cyclonus, that stuff is really cool. I mean, him harming himself is like, I mean, he kind of looks badass though with the clawed face, but
yeah,
I mean, that's just me. But no, it was nice. It's some good stuff. The Energon, the Energon on the planet, that was cool. And I'm just like, okay, and then tied back to the Matrix, like that's really cool. Yeah, I don't know. It was a good start to the arc, I think.
Yeah. This issue though is mostly setup, so I don't think there's like really too much to say in terms of like, character or anything like that outside of what we already kind of discussed.
Yeah, the Decepticon that shows up though, like when like like on the attacks them. I forget his name. Like his name's like Lockdown or something like that.
Yeah, Lockdown. I think he was in animated.
Wait,
he was in
animated?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a photo of him because he's not really that important here.
I mean, I should have grabbed it because it was a really cool page.
Well, I don't remember if it's this one or the next one. There was like a chase scene, and I was like, this isn't really relevant to the plot, so I'm just going to leave it out since we're covering 6 issues today.
Fair enough. But yeah, I thought this issue was a really good introduction, and I love the fact that these Chungus guys, the guys that only say the numbers, come back. I think it's so great.
All right, so are you ready for the next issue?
Yep.
All right, issue 18. So we got Alex Milne doing the pencils and Brian Shearer doing the inks here. So this issue begins with Swerve pointing to a sign in his bar that says "No guns, no swords, no briefcases," as one of the invading robots ignores this and shoots at him. However, with the help of some recently installed security and a Fisher-Price-esque gun provided by Brainstorm, Swerve is able to take down the intruder.
Let's just be clear here for a second. This is also like besides Swerve shooting himself, this is by far like my second favorite Swerve moment because he doesn't miss. It's so great. It proves that he doesn't miss even when it's on himself. I thought it was so much fun.
The toy gun here is also so funny. I love it.
Because you said Fisher Price, does Hasbro own Fisher Price? Is that why? Like,
I don't know. It just
Fisher Price is its own
it says
separate
My
brand.
First Blaster on it. You know.
Yeah. I thought that was so funny. That's such a funny moment, and it acknowledges when you shoot well.
Hooray! You scored a direct hit.
All right, so elsewhere across the ship, things are not looking so good, with Skids taking on wave after wave of these robot guys. Okay, here's Lockdown. Back in the cell on Luna 1, RODIMUS is explaining how they ended up here. As the Decepticons attacks, they tried to run away, but after a chase sequence, everyone minus Cyclonus and Whirl were captured.
Yeah.
As they're taken to the boss of the Decepticons, Chrome Dome spots Magnus but gets ignored. Their boss is this guy named Chief Justice Tyrest. He was a judge who notably tried to create truces and end the war in the past and also presided over Autobot war crime trials. Anyway, he charges Rodimus and co. with crimes against creation and sends them to the cell after Rodimus cursed him out.
I like his design. I don't know if I like it or if I hate it, but it's a very interesting design for Tyrest. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really care too much about him as a character or a villain, which I think not quite. It doesn't ruin the arc, but it's not as impactful as some of the other ones, I think.
Yeah, I can see that.
But he's okay. Back in the cell at present, we learn a little bit more about the guy that's in there with them. His full name is Minimus Ambus, and he's the brother of Rewind's missing friend. And apparently he's been there awaiting retrial after Ultra Magnus arrested him years ago. We also see Tailgates becoming increasingly anxious as the crew realizes they don't have any sort of plan to break out of the prison. Over with Pharma and Ratchet, Pharma's showing off his new chainsaw hands, and he's like, "Isn't this cool? Science is so advanced here, I can basically do anything." Speaking of, guess what's in this box? And Ratchet's like, "I don't care." And Farmer's like, "Wrong answer. The correct answer is you."
That was foul. I saw that. I was like, "Yo, man, Anti-Ratchet is just fucked. He's just so fucked."
That's freaky.
It is.
This
and
is such a cool page though.
Yeah, that page of just his head and his spark connected to his spine is just so creepy. And I'm just like, wow. Good job, Alex Milne. You have improved.
Okay then.
On board the Lost Light, Skids has this really badass moment where he finishes off the robots as Swerve comes to look for him. However, the moment is quickly interrupted by a new guy showing up behind him and stabbing him in the stomach, and unfortunately Swerve misses for once.
Dude.
And gets knocked out.
He just wasted his streak. He just wasted.
They had to nerf him, he was too good.
Fletcher.
You'll get your moment in a second here.
I know.
Back in the cell once more, Rung is handing out cigarettes and spills them when offering them to Minimus. However, Minimus gets angry when he notices Rung makes the mess worse. Rung says with this incident, Rung says between this incident, Minimus staring at his crooked Autobot badge and having a spotless place in a dirty cell, he knows Minimus isn't telling the full truth. And with that, we learn that we already know who this guy is, but we know him as Ultra Magnus. End of issue 18.
That was some good shit. There's some good shit. That was a good twist. I actually generally was like, whoa.
Yeah, he's not a big guy. He's just a little guy, actually.
He's a little guy in a really big suit.
He's a mini-con.
Instead of 3 guys in a trench coat, he's 1 guy in 3 trench coats.
Yeah, he's literally just Tony Stark. He's literally just Tony Stark. with the mustache and the goatee, mind you. All right, they weren't hiding the fact that he was. I'm telling you right now, Alex Moon was like, I'm just gonna make a Tony Stark version of a Transformer and just see if people catch it. This issue was fun. I want to take a note the fact that like I don't remember RODIMUS actually transforming in this series at all. So I was the fact that I was like, oh, he transformed to like another car. It's just like like any other car. It's just nice.
To be fair, there's not a whole lot of reasons for them to turn into cars in this.
Not at all. But like, you know, I mean, it's just nice to see what they can transform into at least.
Yeah. I think it's fun in this when they'll transform. They're like these goofy ass little like toy cars, you know?
Yeah, it's hilarious. But no, I thought this was really cool. Just to scroll, I'm just like slightly scrolling through. I love the swerve moment. Great. He don't miss, but then he ends his streak, which is unfortunate, but it's okay. He's forgiven. There's a lot of really cool skid stuff in this. Like as you mentioned, like before, that like skid gets a lot of like showtime in like this arc, and I appreciate that. He starts wrecking a lot of these things. I'm not gonna say what they are because we're not there yet until they're revealed. But yeah, no, this is really cool. And like again, Milne's really listen. Milne has improved in his artwork, which you can see it in every issue.
The art's really good in this arc, I think.
Yeah, I think it's his best, which I think shows because like I think at the end of the last issue, the artist changes, so like he's really like really not holding back here. Like a lot of like
he hit his stride for sure.
Like a lot of like the landscape stuff, especially like that shot where you see them fly over like basically like essentially like the tomb of like their ancestors, like those old Autobots. It's like really well done. Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Tyrus, I mean, again, his design is weird, and I don't know if I like it or not, but like he's okay. He's just a typical maniacal villain with a master plan or whatever, which is fine. RODIMUS cursing him the fuck out is great. Like that's such a world star moment in this book. Like it is like I'm gonna put a world star moment. I'm gonna put a world star clip in there in the clips for this because I think it's hilarious. Also that reminder that, you know, Tailgate's dying because, you know, we get the little counter. That's really nice. The Ratchet shit is so bonkers.
I think that's one of the best parts about this arc. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's just like so much shit is happening. Like it's so much fun shit is happening in this. But yeah, like the Ratchet, like that page. If you want to go back to that page real quick. Like,
hold on.
Yeah. It is so. I think it's yeah. It's just. That's such like a random horror moment just to throw in there. Like you didn't need to do this.
Out of pocket.
It's out of pocket. They didn't need to do this, but they just did it, and it's like, why not? But yeah, no, I thought this arc was really funny. It was that twist with Ultra Magnus being Minimus and Minimus Ambus.
Minimus Ambus.
Yeah, Tony Stark. He's Tony Stark. Like that. Like he's literally the Iron Man of the Transformers. That's hilarious. I think it's really cool. The fact that the fact that Rung used his degree to figure that out is like hilarious.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little like Sherlock bullshit levels of deducing it, but whatever.
But like, yeah, it makes sense the fact because I do
think it's interesting, and we'll get into this a little more with next issue too. They do like foreshadow a lot Ultra Magnus not being, you know, quite Ultra Magnus, you know.
Yeah, they do. I mean, like and they do a good job because like they've set up how much OCD this man has. So the fact that like freaking Ron was like, oh wait a minute, like he also sounds a little bit familiar. He sounds familiar, and like, you know, that OCD is still ticking. So yeah, it's clearly Ultra Magnus. Like I think that's such a. I mean, it's very like that's such a like a very like wild connection just to make. But I mean, the fact that I thought it was a really funny moment. So he's using his degree. That's what matters.
All right. So moving on here, we got issue 19. Same team on pencils and inks here. So this issue starts with what happened after Magnus landed on the moon. Tyrus came to recover him, but as he comes to, he punches Magnus into the face, saying it was fully deserved. Tyrus has this new setup in his lair that will let him rewrite laws in real time to be enforced by Ultra Magnus's replacement. Magnus has become a disappointment now that he spends his time enforcing petty crimes and inspections, and God forbid, occasionally having a little bit of fun. Because of that, Magnus is stripped of his armor. Apparently, at one point, there was a real Ultra Magnus, but after he died, Tyrese came up with the idea to keep him alive as a symbol and created the armor to be worn and passed down as a title, though no one outside of this group knew about this up until now. And Minimus, the green guy here, is only the latest in a line of Ultra Magnuses. We also learned that Minimus has the same special green spark that Overlord has, and that's what allows him to wear the armor.
Mm-hmm.
Tailgate reminds Minimus that he has 10 days to live, but Minimus replies that thankfully the doctors here can work miracles, meaning he's not going to die anymore.
Yeah.
And we also get this reminder for Tailgate that he's going to die in like a day.
Yes, that's...
So as they continue talking in the cell, Minimus mentions that there's a criminal wanted by Tyrest aboard the Lost Light, and despite going through a list of potential names, it's actually Skids, and the punishment for the crew harboring him would be death. But Minimus says he's not really sure what's happening now. He didn't know about Pharma or the Decepticons, or the new crime that the crew was charged with instead, which is crimes against creation. And then he leaves the cell, leaving the others behind.
Mm-hmm.
Suddenly, Skids and Swerve appear in the cell because, to quote Brainstorm, something unexpected hasn't happened in at least 9 seconds.
Yeah, that was weird. I'm just like, oh, well, they're here now. Let's just deal with it.
It's called Keeping the Book Interesting.
Of course.
Elsewhere, with Whirl and Cyclonus, they find a prison hanging above a giant smelting pool. Whirl suggests they go to a nearby armory and have a jailbreak. However, Cyclonus is like, but if we do that, then we'll have to leave the moon, and I'm still looking for something. And Whirl's like, whatever, Emo, just follow me. As the two get weapons, the alarms in the building go off. Cyclonus gets stabbed, but is surprisingly saved by Whirl, and then they stumble upon the imprisoned Circle of Light from a few volumes back.
Mm-hmm.
Skipping forward in the issue a little bit, they manage to free the Circle of Light from their cells, and with their help begin to take on another horde of robots. Whirl also says if they watch each other's back and make it out of this, they're even, no more trying to kill each other. And I think this panel is kind of cool. I like when they team up.
Yeah, no, it's listen. I'll say it. I think that Cyclonus and Whirl is probably one of my favorite duos in comic books. I think it's hilarious.
Wow, already?
It's so funny. Like I don't know why they just the stuff that happens in this issue and the other issues with just them two. I just think is so much fun.
They are a lot of fun to watch. Especially in these first couple volumes.
Mm.
All right, so over with Ratchet and not Ratchet. Ratchet's like, okay, so why am I ahead exactly? And Pharma answers that this is retaliation for taking his hands back in Volume 2. He says that while Luna 1 isn't magic, it is host to a bunch of confiscated super advanced technology that lets him cure anything and do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Except, as Ratchet notes, take his hands back.
Yeah.
Pharma says, no, actually, I could totally do that. But you probably planted a bomb in them. And Ratchet's like, the hands that are attached to my body.
That was so funny.
Do you think I wired them to explode? Just admit that you're scared to fail because I'm better than you. And then Ratchet challenges Pharma to put him back in his body and prove he's better by racing him to fix an energy, to which Pharma agrees. So once he's woken back up in his body, Ratchet sees Pharma standing there with a captured Ambulon and First Aid, who were also introduced in Volume 2 with Pharma, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
Pharma's like, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to cut both these guys in half. You get Ambulon, I get First Aid, and we're going to see who the better doctor is. Otherwise, I'm going to cut the whole crew in half. Obviously, Ratchet's like, you can just have your hands back. You're the better doctor. I'll remove one hand and you can do the other. Just like, don't cut these guys in half. But Pharma isn't listening and cuts Ambulon in half. Lengthways.
Dude, I died. Okay, honestly, I was gonna say some of my final thoughts. I'll say it now. I fucking laughed so hard because I clearly was like, oh, you're just gonna cut him just from the waist and just have it just be like.
Yeah, well, before this, we're just like, okay, it's gonna hurt, but like we can do this. Just like, don't think about the pain too much. And he's just like,
and then I literally was just like, and you see him like cut him half. I'm just like, you literally expect Ratchet to stick this man back together when like literally from the like up to down he is just severed. It is. I died, man.
It's really good. Cut this man a hot dog instead of hamburger. So scene change over to the cell. Skids apologizes for whatever it is he did, because clearly he did something really stupid. Star Saber, who is this guy here, he probably should have enlarged the panels, but whatever. He's Magnus's replacement, and he's like a Jesus cop type. Tells him his apology is worthless and throws another prisoner in the cell, apparently Skid's old partner in crime. Upon seeing this new guy, Chrome Dome realizes he misread Skids' memories. I think also back in Volume 2. He told Skids he could only remember a need to escape, but it was actually a name, Getaway. Following... Wait, do we have a comment there?
No.
Okay. Following up with Minimus, he confronts Tyrese to give him his villain monologue, which he does. For context, since I skipped over it earlier, there are two types of Transformers: guys whose sparks came from the planet, like we saw in the last issue, and guys who were made from pieces of someone else's sparks. Millions of years ago, Tyrese helped invent the second type of guy. However, when he was watching over the Autobot war crimes, he realized that everyone on trial was constructed cold, which is the second type of guy I mentioned there. Because of this, he felt so guilty that he started drilling holes into his body, and one day while drilling a hole into his head, he found God. So he built a portal to allegedly take him to Cyber Utopia, which is also where the Knights of Cybertron are said to be, but no one can go through if they feel guilt. So to get rid of his guilt, he's going to kill every Transformer who was constructed with a kill switch. Minimus threatens to stop him, but Tyrese is like, I just made up a new law, no trying to stop me. And then one of those big robots called Legislators crushes Minimus's head in. End of issue 19.
Bruh.
So they freaking killed Magnus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again, right, when shout out to that Grim Reaper Transformer, because he was like, oh, Ultra Magnus is gonna die. I thought like they were just gonna completely ignore that and be like, oh, because they brought him back to life, because comics. But then nah, they committed to it, they actually killed him.
Or did they?
Woo. And again, the armor is worn by numerous users, so technically he didn't die per se.
Yeah, but our Magnus would be dead then.
Our Magnus is dead, yeah. Yeah, so shout out to Matt, again, who's not here, but like I wanted to see him cry on this podcast because this guy.
I don't know if that would make him cry, but he did miss out on a really good Ratchet moment.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this volume was again a lot. It was fun. I'm gonna save stuff about Getaway till next issue, obviously, because we get to know more about him. And because I really like Getaway. I thought Getaway was really cool, but I'll say it for next issue. But no, this issue was a lot of fun. Listen, okay, I don't know why, but like when I read that backstory of like why like his what like Tyrese's plan was and why he has the holes in his body, I was like, is this man literally just like it's just the Transformers version of Penance? Like, is that what if you know Penance from like Civil War?
Do not.
Okay.
I haven't read Civil War in a year.
Okay, so backstory. So Civil War in the comics was when when the New Warriors fucked up and then they ended up killing like a fucking town killing a town of people, including like a bunch of children. One of those New Warriors was named Speedball, and he had the power to like distribute energy, and he can like bounce around and shit. So when he went to prison because of it, obviously because the New Warriors died in this explosion except for him, which was convenient. And he ended up, I think he ended up leaving prison. I think, he ended up getting out on like one exception that like, he wouldn't use his powers, but he ended up using his powers in a way where because of the blast fucked up his powers. So the only way he could use them is he was in like excruciating pain. So he made a suit that had like about like some it's like the amount of like a bunch of spikes on the outside and on the inside, so that like as a commemoration of like the certain amount of people that died had
that's some real 2000s comic edge.
Yes, that's the number of spikes that were basically pushed into his body while wearing the suit, so he would be in excruciating pain all the time, and that's what would be able to use his powers. It was dumb.
There's a word for like when you like harm yourself, but it's like in a religious way. But I forget what the word was, and I was too lazy to look it up.
Yeah. So that's what that shit reminds me of what Tyrest is doing, and I'm just like, that's stupid. Like, it's dumb, but it's whatever.
No, don't murder people for God.
Exactly. It was like the fact is like, yeah, I put holes in myself and I murdered two, and then I found God. I'm like, come on, you Mormon. Like, relax. Like, it's just but besides that, I thought this issue again was really a lot of fun, a lot of really good stuff here with Minimus and like his backstory, as well as like, you know, him like the fact that like I thought that was really cool twist that like Tyrest controls the suit, so he pressed that button and he took it off. I thought that was really cool. Star Saber, that introduction was. I mean, we're gonna see more Star Saber in a bit, obviously.
Yeah, do you want to go on your rant now, Thomas, or do you want to save it?
I want to save it, please.
Okay.
The Dr. Dick measuring contest was hilarious. I loved it. I thought it was so funny, and like again, because like he fucking chopped Ambulance in half for no reason. Like he literally chopped him in half.
Well, we could argue that Ambulon never saw it coming.
Oh, come on.
Come on. Like, nah, like I thought it was hilarious the fact that like he just chopped him in half in the most lethal way possible. He technically cheated. I think. But you know, it's whatever.
Yeah, he didn't even cut first aid in half. It's no contest.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I thought this issue was a lot of fun, and also like the whole battle sequence with the Circle of Light and like Cyclonus and World is so fun. I think it's so cool, and I love these two together. I remember we said that like last volume, like it was Cyclonus and Tailgate. Like, no, I love Cyclonus and Whirl. That's hilarious. It's so they're like the Deadpool.
They're like worsties.
Yeah, they're like Deadpool and Cable. Like Cable was also crazy. Like it's just like, you know, I love it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. And also, Minimus getting like smushed again. There's a lot of really good like shocking like horror, like just shocking like just brutal moments in these books for no fucking reason, and I love it. So
yeah,
it's
like brutal, but it never feels like overly brutal.
Like the Michael Bay movies.
I mean, I wouldn't say that. I feel like these are just as brutal as the Michael Bay movies.
If the Bay movies were colorful, it would probably feel like less, you know.
like this shit is brutal. This shit is brutal, but like I would still give a kid this book. Know what I mean? Because they're just fucking robots. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I would give a 12-year-old this. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, just show them the image of Voss asking someone to wear his face. I mean, I'm sure they'll probably understand.
Okay, no, listen. There are some there are out-of-pocket moments that are not super for children in this book, but for the most part, I would showing Ambulon getting fucking chopped in half, hot dog style. I don't think would scare a child. So, yeah.
Sorry, now I'm just thinking of that, what is it, like Scary Movie 3, where they're trying to explain when the guy's wife got, like, chopped in half.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get distracted, so I'm going to move
on. Nah, but yeah, this issue is one of my favorite ones. I think it's really good.
All right, so issue 20. Let's start this issue with a quick check-in on our characters outside of the cell. So Ratchet is trying to save Ambulon, but doesn't think he can. And over with the Circle of Light, Cyclonus gets a supercharged sword. Back in the cell, we meet Getaway. He introduces himself as a code breaker, marksman, and escapeologist. And he's been held here and tortured here for a while now. According to him, Tyrest is using code from the Matrix of Leadership to figure out how to filter who the kill switch kills, and that he's raided a nearby dead Titan, which is the giant Transformers, for parts to make his portal. Mm-hmm. Finally, he asserts that Ultra Magnus lured the crew here. We also get Skid's real backstory. He was in an Autobots special ops unit. If you don't remember, or if you'll remember, Skids had a special gun that held 2 bullets, except it didn't hold normal bullets. It held thoughts. The first one was meant for Tyrest, and it was supposed to brainwash him into resigning.
This is the most comic booky shit I've ever heard in my entire life. This man has a gun that shoots thoughts, bro. What?
This book is so like unapologetically like sci-fi heavy. Like there's so much bullshit going on,
A lot of it.
However, because Tyrese was crazy, his thought bullet didn't work on him. And as he was being chased by the legislators, which again are the giant robots that were fighting Skids earlier, in escaping, Skids used that second bullet to erase his own memories. Back in Pharma's medbay, First Aid is upset that Ratchet won't let him help save Ambulon and thinks it's because of his inability to let other people take over for him. However, Ratchet reveals Ambulon died half an hour ago, and he turned his body into a gun, which he uses to take down the legislators guarding the door.
I've never respected Ratchet more than this moment. I thought it was fucking great.
Dude, Ratchet is so cool in this arc.
I love the fact that First Aid was like, Ratchet, you're a fucking hack. I hate you. And he's like, am I a hack? Am I? And he just fucking makes a gun on fucking Ambulon's body. It's so dope.
Yeah, turn your friend into a gun.
Hopefully he'll use that on lockdown.
Oh my god. Baller.
So after that, the two then reunite with the crew who were in the cell, having escaped with the help of Getaway. Also at this point, Tailgate's down to 1 day left to live, and his legs are starting to seize up. But he tells Ratchet that he thinks there's a cure here. However, Ratchet says if there is a cure, only Pharma knows what it is.
Okay, the fact that, and I'll say this right now, just talk about Getaway real quick. The fact that you just brushed over the most ridiculous escape I've ever seen. Like, he is literally the Mr. Miracle of this book. He uses comic book nonsense to to escape things. It is hilarious, and I love it. Okay.
Yeah, he takes like parts of like everyone's like stuff, like Chromedome's needles, Brainstorm's briefcase.
Even
like,
the
other
energy
stuff,
snacks,
too.
even the Energon snacks are in use here to escape. What?
I know this is off topic, but I also like Getaway due to the fact that Alex Milne wrote it with a New Zealand accent in mind.
Yeah. I read him as like British, but like, you know, yeah, I got the same vibe here.
I know it's written by a British guy and they're all supposed to have British accents, but I can't picture these guys as anything but like the most American motherfuckers, you know?
Yeah, no. I literally voiced Rodimus as Troy Baker in my head. I'm not even making that up. Like, he literally is Troy Baker to me.
For me, it's just a classic Judd Nelson because Judd Nelson is Rodimus.
Fucking Swerve to me is fucking Craig Sipes from Teen Titans. He's fucking Beast Boy's voice. Like,
really?
Yeah, he's a crackhead. Okay, it works.
I haven't been the same since I saw someone's headcanon for Rodimus as Owen Wilson from Cars.
Whoa.
That one was out of pocket, but I could kind of see it.
That is like, just imagine just like this Lightning McQueen's fucking voice.
Yeah.
Wow. All like what is fucking Rodimus say all the time? Like all for one or something like
yeah, till all are one.
Yeah, till all are one, man. Wow. Like it's just like it's fucking ridiculous, man.
Speaking of headcanon, since due to Getaway's voice, I always view him as with Tim Ware Morrison's voice for some reason.
That's actually good. That's good.
Oh, you want to know one more cursed headcanon I saw? Someone said for Tailgate, their headcanon was SpongeBob, like Tom Kenny.
I don't really see that. I mean,
I just thought that one was funny.
That is funny though.
But it's actually Tom Kenny as Skids and Mudflap voicing fucking Tailgate.
No.
All right, back on track here. Over with the Circle of Light, their leader, a guy named Atlas, who is this blue guy here, takes on Star Saber, who used to be one of the Circle of Light. However, Star Saber, who basically says he'll never lose because he's God's very special boy, stabs and kills him.
Aww.
In Tyrest's lair, the crew tries to launch an attack, but Tyrest is prepared and uses a button on his staff to paralyze everyone within hearing range. According to him, they aren't physically paralyzed, but the signal makes them think they are. Either way, they're stuck as they are. And then Tyrest activates the kill switch. All across the universe, we see Transformers beginning to die. And with that, Tyrest heads for the portal, ending our issue.
Good shit.
So that was Atlas.
I mean,
yeah.
this
This guy is Atlas.
Yeah, he's a Japanese character.
I am not familiar with the Japanese characters.
Yeah, first appeared in 1990.
Yeah, you can tell he's very Japanese, very over designed. So
You can definitely tell Star Saber is because he looks like a straight up Gundam.
Yeah. Well, I'll still save my quarrel with him when we get later on until we see
Yeah,
how
we
he.
got one more issue with these guys, so you can save it for next time.
No.
Do we have any other thoughts here? This was
Nah,
another very plot heavy one.
Yeah, it's very plot heavy. So, but no, it's good.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. I love Getaway. I love this Mr. Miracle of a man. He's literally Mr. Miracle, and I love it. I think it fits. I think it fits his character so much. The stuff with Skids is good. I think the Skid stuff is good. Everyone dying is great. The fact that I love the fact that fucking I was call him Tyrese. Tyrese. Oh fuck, I don't call him Tyrese. Tyrese has such a hatred for people that are naturally born and people that are fucking premature. I think it's hilarious.
Well, no, it's the people who weren't like naturally born that he doesn't like.
Yeah, the people that are premature, that were removed instead of born, like myself.
Section
Yeah. Like people that were removed or born removed instead of born, like myself. He hates so much. I think it's like the dumbest thing ever. But listen, it's Transformers, so who cares if we take anything seriously? But no, I think that's really funny. I love the fact that they do a thing with Skids where they explain the reason why he doesn't remember what he did because he used that bullet to basically he shot himself in the head. He put a bullet in his own brain, and that's why that makes sense. He pulled in like Hugh Jackman in X-Men Origins Wolverine. He got shot in the fucking head with a dumb bullet, and it got amnesia. Like it's just I thought it was funny. But yeah, man, Ratchet was the GOAT. He was the GOAT of this He was the GOAT of this issue. Literally turned his friend corpse to a gun. That was nice. That was probably my favorite part of the whole issue was this Ratchet being badass for a moment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And also more Cyclonus world stuff. It's really cool. But it does suck that I didn't want this man getting stabbed because I was like, I like his overly designed ass. Oh, what's his name?
Diatlas.
Diatlas, yeah.
He's one of the powered masters.
Yeah,
it's just something else.
Anyway. Gotcha. But yeah, I thought
I'm gonna start reading wiki articles at us.
Yeah, but yeah, this issue was really fun. Also, Tyrese making making them all think that they can move. I'm like, yeah, this is very convenient. I don't know if I like that or not, but it's okay. But yeah, together, we're not taking anything seriously. Transformers, anything can happen. Good.
It's just fun. You're smashing toys together. Don't think about it too hard.
Exactly.
All right, so issue 21. This time it's just by Alex Milne, no other inker.
I will say this disclaimer: I only read the first 4, so I don't know what happens after this.
Okay. All right, so picking right up, just as Tyrese is about to go through the portal, Tailgate is able to jump on him. Since he's dying, it caused him to be unable to hear the frequency that paralyzed everyone, and he's able to turn said signal off. With RODIMUS back in action, he readies to shoot Tyrese, but he takes Tailgate as a hostage. However, Tailgate says it's okay to shoot him because he's dying soon.
Sorry. It's okay. I'm already dying. Just shoot me. Just do it. Who cares? No one cares about me in this book.
I've outlived my use as the new guy.
Exactly.
Before RODIMUS can shoot, Tyrese is instead shot from behind by Minimus, who we last saw getting their head crushed 2 issues ago. Once again, the body we saw was yet another set of armor, and this is his true self.
You're joking. I'm sorry. No, hold on.
He's a Russian doll transformer.
Yeah, a Matryoshka of a man.
This man is Tony Stark. He was wearing armor underneath his armor. Is that what you're fucking trying to tell me?
He's a guy inside a guy. Yeah.
I'll put myself in full screen. I don't like this. This is some bullshit. It's some fucking bullshit. James Roberts.
That's the line for you, the sci-fi bullshit line.
The fuck is wrong? What is this? What? Okay. Just kill the fucker already. Just commit to what you did. Damn. Okay. I'm good.
Got that out of your system. Over with Whirl and Cyclonus, Starsaber is looking for a new challenger, and Cyclonus takes up the battle. Starsaber says he fights because God has ordained it, and asks Cyclonus what he fights for. Cyclonus says it's personal and blinds Starsaber after stabbing him in the eye with the horn on his helmet.
That's savage. All right.
Oof.
It's so cool. However, before he can finish the job, Starsaber is teleported somewhere else. Back with the rest of the crew in the chaos of everyone dying, Pharma tries to escape but can't make it through the portal since only people with clear consciences can go through, and Skids is the only one able to make it through. Stuck there, Pharma's like, okay, you got me, lock me up, and First Aid blows his head off, killing him, which, good for him.
That's great.
I didn't mention it, I think last issue, Ratchet's like, well, we can't kill Pharma because we got to be better than him. And First Aid's like, no, we don't.
Oh,
we are better than him.
I'll bust the cap in this guy's ass. Okay.
So, meanwhile, Rodimus, Preceptor, and Minimus come up with a plan to drain what's left of their half of the Matrix, which is connected to Rodimus, to save everyone. But doing this will also mean it destroys their only map to the Knights of Cybertron, and maybe Rodimus in the process. As their machine powers on, Rodimus confronts Minimus, luring them there. Minimus says he didn't think all of this would happen or that Tyrest would go crazy. He just wanted to give Rodimus a scare into being a more responsible leader.
Yeah.
And Rodimus is like, well, if I might die, you should know everything you said about me being a bad leader is true. But also I knew and brought Overlord on board. As the machine turns on, Rodimus says self-sacrifice is cheap and he doesn't want to die, but to live to make amends for what he's done. Fortunately, this plan seems to have worked. Elsewhere, we see Skids on the other side of the portal.
Ooh.
And again, we get another cool planet shot here.
Dude, Milne, man. Milne, if you're listening, because you clearly are, you killed this shit. That looks so good.
There he encounters this weird, like, talking ball of light, and I don't know what this means, and neither does Skids.
Yeah,
I genuinely don't know how to interpret this.
He literally like Skids. Well, let's try to do it right now. What that second panel? Skids, I think. Exclamation point. What does that mean? Skids.
Skids, are you an Autobot or Decepticon?
That's what I think. So, yeah. Are you an Autobot or Decepticon? What's that black thing? I don't know what that black thing is.
I don't know.
And he's like, "You're not that." And he's just like, I think the other things are like, are those the moons or like the sparks? I don't know.
Planets. They look like planets. Where are you from?
Oh, see, we're figuring it out. We're translating here. Yeah. It's like, which planet are you from? And he's just like, the fuck. Yeah, that's cool.
Cut back to Cyclonus and Whirl. Over there, the day is won, but both of them are in rough condition, and Cyclonus notes that Whirl can't fly. Whirl asks if, since they survived, if they're cool now. And Cyclonus pushes him into the smelting pool below, killing him.
Wait, he's dead?
What?
Let that sink in for a moment.
So, he's dead.
Oh, hold on. However, this turns out to be a dream sequence, and Cyclonus flies off together.
I thought I saw my world just to get destroyed.
I can get you with that because you didn't read the story.
Oh my god. That was good. That was good. I genuinely was like, yo, he just killed one of the funniest characters in this fucking comic, but he just committed to what he said. I respect it either way.
All right, so scene change back to the crew. In his dying breath, Tyrest enacts one final law, the first law, and now the robots are back to attacking everyone. Skids returns from the portal to join the fight, and as he comes back, we see something come through and drag Pharma's body into it.
Oh.
As the others fight, Tailgate makes it over to the computer and is trying to use his previously learned knowledge of the Autobot code all the way from Volume 2 back to look through and edit the laws that the legislators run off of. Personally, I'm a little confused about exactly what's happening here. Originally, I thought the implication was that he just deleted like the specific section of the law to get him to stop, but then he says he just repealed all of it so they can't enforce anything.
I guess, yeah. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Either way, the legislators come to a halt and the day is saved as Tailgate collapses.
Fuck! Well, I mean, he still has a day. So, I mean, I guess it's just the paralysis sitting in.
Yeah. So the next day, Tailgate only has 14 minutes to live, and he tells Cyclonus how he was only alive for 2 weeks before he fell in a hole and fell asleep for 6 million years. But now he's done something with his life. He says that saving the day is overrated. He also asks Cyclonus to kill him before the disease does. Just then, Ratchet calls. They found a cure for Tailgate's disease from Pharma's notes, but he's already too far gone to treat. However, Whirl gives him an idea to use the excess life energy channeled through his new sword. And so, with little time to spare, Cyclonus stabs Tailgate. Flash forward a bit, Ultra Magnus is back in his armor, the portal is closed, and the ship's moved on from the moon, which is revealed to be a ship of some kind. Also, Brainstorm stole the green spark from earlier. Finally, to end our issue, we learned that Cyclonus' actions saved Tailgate's life, and because of this, Ultra Magnus accepts him as part of the crew and welcomes him aboard. The end.
That was cool. I liked it. That's nice. They don't, I skimmed through this stuff when I was like trying to find like a thumbnail, but like I saw this page and I was like, oh, that's nice. He gets a completed somewhat arc, and he's now one of them. He's not an Autobot, but he's at least on the crew, so that's a step up. That's cool. I'm sorry, I'm still on the fact that like you trying to bait me and think that fucking he killed Whirl. I was like, after I literally said that they're one of my favorite, probably my favorite duo in this in comic. It's so funny. But yeah, no, this issue was a cool issue. It's nice, good stuff. I'm curious to see if the Liberators are, I don't know, maybe used to their advantage in future books. I don't know, because they have those access codes, or they can change the laws and shit. I don't know, or maybe they just don't use them. It's the last we see them.
They said they moved on from the moon, so I don't think they're gonna bother that much. But it's not quite the end of the Legislators.
Yeah, but Cyclonus coming in clutch to save Tailgate at the very last second. Again, dumb comic book stuff, but I thought it was fun. Yeah, no, this issue was good. It's good stuff, and Milne does a really good job with the. Again, like, yeah, you could tell, like, yeah, like, I'm not on this book I'm not gonna be on this book for very long, so I'm just gonna do my best stuff. Oh, yeah, but yeah, no, this was fun. This was good stuff. Also, my opinion, and because we said this before, we're like, the best things about this book is not with RODIMUS. It's just everything that happens around RODIMUS. If he did die, would you have cared, or would you have just like, would you think it would have made a difference, or you'd be like, nah, not really?
I think if they were going to kill him, it would have been more impactful,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, that's what I think. Because I don't know. So I like RODIMUS, but I'm just like everything that the best.
We're not done putting RODIMUS through the ringer, I guess.
I mean, I figured we aren't, because he is like the main character. He is the main character of the book. But I'm just like, if they did kill him, I think it would. As you said, it would have been more impactful, and I think it would just been, I would have made sense for this arc, I guess. But it's whatever. It's good. But this from what your explanation of it, I thought this was pretty cool. So.
Yeah. So, Thomas, you ready to go on your rant?
Wait, does Starsaber appear again in the next issue?
No.
Okay.
This is the end of the arc.
Okay. So, I've been building this up, but I've so far what I've seen, it's pretty good. I just have one little issue with it. I hate Starsaber in this. I hate what they've done to my boy. Okay, so all right, I'll be more rational. The idea of a religious fanatic in the Transformers universe is pretty good. I mean, Lord Tyrus. But here's the issue. Why Starsaber? I mean, all right, so Starsaber is not an original.
Way out of the box there.
All right, so Starsaber is not an original character in this. He's actually a very popular Japanese character that appeared in a Transformers anime called Transformers Victory. Now, this came out in 1989, so it's pretty old. And Starsaber is pretty much the Transformers equivalent of Superman. He's described as the greatest swordsman in the universe and loves justice. Completely the catchphrase, let's say go. But I like all the characters in here, but I really don't like Starsaber in this. I mean, just this religious fanatic. I mean, like I said, good idea on paper, but just the absolute wrong character for the job. I mean, I don't like Starsaber in this. What have they done to my boy?
That's crazy that they took the Superman. They took the Superman of Transformers and made him an evangelical. That's crazy.
Yeah, and if you could go back to the Diatlas page, now that actually has some more connection because where he kills Diatlas.
Hold on. There we go.
So yeah, Diatlas, I also said, is another Japanese character. He appeared in the sequel series to this. It was only one episode OVA, and he was the successor of the leader of the Autobots because Starsaber was the leader in this anime, and Diatlas was the successor. And this is just really, it's sad. I mean, well, nobody knows who Diatlas is, so it's not really. But I just really don't like this take on Starsaber.
Yeah. So I'm guessing if this had been like any other character, well, you know, if it had been some other random character, you wouldn't have like cared.
Yeah, but I really like Starsaber, and I really don't like this take on him.
No, yeah, no, I don't have an attachment to him, so I don't care. But I can completely understand, like, again, if you like a character and they're not what you envision, being upset about it.
Oh, also, yeah, Sarah showed up. She says hello.
Hi, Sarah.
She's not here
Sarah.
anymore, but I mean to acknowledge her.
Oh, well.
Hey, Sarah, Starsaber sucks in this.
Okay, I want to say one thing before we move on to the next one. So when RODIMUS says that when RODIMUS gets hooked up to this machine to drain the Matrix, right? You know, as a last effort before he was gonna die. Did you say that he knew that he's the reason why Overlord was on the ship?
Yeah, so he was like, Prowl basically called him a coward if he didn't take him on. And he's like, well, now I gotta, you know?
Okay,
so it's his fault, basically, that Overlord was on board. Like, he was the final say, I guess.
So then what you're telling me is that Drift left for nothing.
Well, he was the fall guy, so he left so, like, everyone else could stay on board, basically.
Yeah, I fucking hate RODIMUS. Never mind. I take everything back I said. Fuck this nigga. I hate him. But okay, I just wanted to clear it up because I was just like, huh.
Yeah, you're not the first person to have a turn like that after learning it. All right, so are you ready for the final issue in this then?
Yes, I am.
All right, and for issue 22, we have a different artist, James. Is it Rise?
James Race. Okay, I will just go real quick, people. If you don't know who James Race is, I think Thomas and we talked. I think when Fletcher when we talked with Fletcher before, like a few days ago, we talked about it. But James Race, I forgot he did comics. All right, because he's a huge art YouTuber. Like he has like 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube. He's known as the box office artist, and he's very successful. He's very known for doing he's really good at drawing mechs and like automatons and Gundams, but also he's also a comic book artist and stuff like that. He's also an artist that he's done like a lot of films, movies. He just recently did a huge piece for The Rock to celebrate Black Adam. Like he's a very well-known and sought-after artist in the industry and in Hollywood, definitely. So I was surprised to see him in this book. Like I saw this artwork and I was like, dude, that's him. Like his style is so distinct, you can tell from anywhere. So I was very happy to see that he was on this book. And yeah, that's it.
All right. So before we get into this, just as a note, a lot of this issue takes place in the past as like a documentary that Rewind had filmed. So the characters like him and Drift aren't magically back in the book. It's just taking place when they were still there. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So back right before the start of the series, we see RODIMUS ask Rewind to film their quest and create the ultimate travelogue. And also, I will say this issue was very character-driven, so it was very hard to summarize, and I skip over a lot of it. As the B-plot of this film/issue, Swerve and Tailgate bet $100 to see who can figure out what Rung's alt mode is first without straight up asking him.
Yeah.
These attempts include hitting Rung in the back of the head and throwing an alt mode party, neither of which works. Over in an interview with Skids, he's talking about an encounter him and Whirl had with another alien species while on vacation. Like themselves, the species has been separated into two factions and has been warring for 16 million years. And they have this kind of dick measuring contest for who can be the most like hated / more impressive species. Whirl's like, wait, what?
No, nothing. I was laughing. Sorry.
Whirl's like, well, I bet you guys didn't get banned from the Galactic Council. And they're like, yeah, well, we're the reason that it formed. And Skids is like, well, some of us can combine. And the alien's like, we already do that. We're all combiners. And Skids is like, prove it. And it turns out they were already combined and they're just a bunch of tiny robots.
Nah.
Now that that's over, everyone's settled down, and then they overhear someone say that the warship of the aliens' enemy faction, who they're on the run from, just landed. As Skids watches from the window, Whirl goes outside, and before anyone can do anything, Whirl kills the enemy's leader, effectively ending their 16 million year war.
I love Whirl, man.
Sometime later, we see someone new is boarding the Lost Light. Everyone, except notably Rodimus, seems to love this guy. He even gets a kind of "Who is Regina George" moment with the crew describing him. Also, I want to point out, because we've talked about it, every time Cyclonus has his little interview, he has not a Decepticon on screen.
That's so funny.
So this is Thunderclash. He's captain of a ship called the Vis Vitalis, and he's way too perfect for Rodimus's liking.
I don't like his design. I think is just. I thought he was just Ultra Magnus, but just spray painted to be edgy. That's what he looked like to me.
Dude, you got to go back and read this issue. It's so funny.
Yeah, I'll reread it for sure.
But upon meeting Magnus, Thunderclash tells him that he loved his paper on typefaces, and Magnus is so touched he hugs this guy. And he's also into the same hippie shit as Drift. Even Ratchet comes by, he's like, oh man, isn't Thunderclash just the best? He taught me everything I know. So Rodimus is like, what do you want? We're kind of busy with this quest that's going to, like, save our race. And Thunderclash is like, well, if you're in charge, then we're all in safe hands. Which he means, like, genuinely, but it comes off as, like, really sarcastic, you know? And also he's on a quest. Him and his crew are looking for the Knights of Cybertron. And Rodimus immediately has a meltdown upon hearing this. But after that, we learn Thunderclash is here because his ship is essentially a life support machine for him, and he needs it jump-started after it got damaged, rescuing orphans from an exploding sun. So, again, Thunderclash is just one of those too perfect, you can't hate the guy type of characters, and Rodimus hates him for it. So as they're getting things set up, one of Thunderclash's crew pulls a gun on him, adding that if Thunderclash dies, his ship will explode as well. Rodimus is like, ooh, you had a secret Decepticon on board. That's so embarrassing. But the guy's like, we're not Decepticons. We're one of those alien robots from earlier in the issue. Apparently, they're pissed because when Whirl killed the enemy leader, they put someone worse in charge, and they need the ship to give them a new edge in their war. While this is happening, Swerve's with Rung like, I bet I could get my bestest friend Thunderclash to give you an autograph if you transform. And as they walk in on this tense situation, Swerve uses Rung to hit the alien in the head, knocking him out. And in an interview after, Rung's like, yeah, no one, including myself, knows what I'm supposed to turn into. So I'm basically just a decoration. And with that, Thunderclash thanks Rodimus and leaves the ship. As we pull out of the documentary, we see Skids was using this film as a recruitment tool, but all it did was drive up interest in Thunderclash's ship. But as dysfunctional as they are, at least our crew's in it together. The end. Like I said, I had to skip over a lot because a lot of it's just like characters talking about like nothing plot relevant, but This was a cute, fun little issue.
That's so funny. That's so. Yeah, it's funny because like they were typing up the whole documentary throughout like the last few arcs. So the fact that you actually get to see it is nice. Yeah, that's such a quaint, nice ending. You know, to like the madness just happened in the last like 5 issues.
Yeah, it's a nice breakup between that arc and, like I said, we're going into an event comic next. So
Yeah.
our last little breather before a bunch of craziness.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I thought that. I'm gonna definitely like read it. But from what you explained, it seems like it's a lot of fun and just like the dynamic of like Rodimus and Thunder Clash.
Thunder
Yeah.
Clash.
Thunder Clash is just like like Rodimus just fucking hates this guy because he thinks he's outstaging him. It's so funny. And now like everyone just loves this man because of his reputation and all that, and it's just like it's I think it's hilarious. But yeah, I mean I don't have much to say on it obviously, but I mean it seems very fun, and I'm gonna read it. And also James Race's art looks so good. Like Rebecca, how do you feel about like the transition from like Alex Milne's art to Race's art? Do you think it translates better because of like James Race is really good
I'll
at
be
doing
completely honest. I much prefer for this book the cartoony styles over the like more detailed ones. So personally, I prefer Milne's, but I don't think this is bad.
Yeah, I think that I'm the opposite. I like this one a lot more just because they look more like robots to me than they do in the other one. Where they look more like cartoony in a way.
Okay.
But yeah,
Thomas, do you have any opinion on that?
he died.
I guess not. He just muted himself.
But this looks like a nice fun breather, and I think especially because like like you said, it's a nice breather for the event, which I assume is going to be fucking insane. So
yeah, there's going to be a lot to cover with that.
Okay.
Especially because half the characters we don't technically know.
Oh, okay.
Because it's the characters from the other book as well.
Oh, okay. So it's like a crossover comic. All right.
Yeah, it's a crossover event.
Ooh, we love crossover events. They always turn out great.
Yeah. We'll get into that when we actually talk about it, though. There's some good stuff in there, but it's a 12-issue event, and we're doing 6 and 6.
Yeah.
And 12 issues is way too long, I think.
Yeah, that's a lot for an event.
Yeah. So, do we want to move into final thoughts for the volume?
Yeah, why not? This volume, I'll say, was a lot of fun, a lot of really funny moments, a lot of really fucking crazy moments, a lot of just shocking moments. The stuff with Skids, I like how Skids gets the most showtime in this because this has a lot to do with him and like him actually figuring out who he is. That was really nice, and also the introduction of Getaway along with that because Getaway is fucking cool. I love Mr. Miracle, so I like the fact there's a Mr. Miracle adjacent character in this book. But yeah, Cyclonus and Whirl, best duo. I'll say it now, best duo in this book. Hilarious. The fake out with killing him. I was like, oh my gosh, he just killed fucking Whirl, but like he committed to his word. Hilarious. I respect it. That was nice.
We could think that Cyclonus thought there could only be one mono-eyed transformer, and he favored Shockwave in that moment.
Yeah. Yeah, the stuff with Tailgate I thought was really fun. The fact that he literally got saved at the last possible second is just typical comics, so it's nothing too crazy.
We were waiting for this guy to die.
I was honestly like, he's gonna get fucking murked, but again, we didn't see him on that list of that list of people in that Grim Reaper's list, so I didn't back in my mind I was like, I didn't expect him to die, but like it'd been funny if they did. But that's good stuff. Oh, the stuff was great. I love a lot of the moments in this arc. I thought was really fun. Tyrese as a villain. I didn't think he was that special. So
this arc and him as a villain, like I said earlier, aren't my favorite. I think there's a lot of good moments in the arc, but I feel like overall it's just not bad, but it falls a little flat for me personally.
Gotcha. I feel like it would have been better if because I do love the stuff, like a lot of the stuff with Ratchet and Anti-Ratchet was a lot of fun. I would have preferred if like he was the villain in this arc somehow instead of Tyrese. But
Yeah, I think he works for the subplot he's in, though.
yeah,
I
it
think
does.
that part's really fun.
Yeah, it does. But yeah, that shit with Ratchet was kind of wild, especially because like the body horror stuff of it, and also like the fact that he like takes his friend's corpse and makes a gun to use against the other Decepticon. I'm like, that is fucking insane, and I love it. Yeah, that's like the best Ratchet moment so far, and I hope there's more Ratchet moments like that where he just does crazy shit like that in the future. But I thought that little subplot was really nice and really fun. But yeah, no, this was a good arc. This is a really fun arc for sure, and I'm curious to see what, because you've been hyping up this event, so like I wonder how kind of this shit was crazy. So what how crazy this shit gonna get?
Dude, my slides are gonna be so long for the next one. There's so much that happens. It's like slow down a little, you know.
Gotcha. But yeah, I liked it. This isn't what I think. This might be one of my favorite ones, just because of I love the banter and just like the crazy stuff that's happening, and yeah, Milne's art is like the best he's done. And I think it makes sense because I think James, I think James Race does the whole event. I think, well, at least does this entire next arc. So
for the event, there's definitely like multiple artists on it.
Oh well, I think yeah, but I think he's on it for like I think all of it. I think I looked into it. So this kind of like this last issue, kind of like especially having him on is like kind of like an acclimation issue for people that get to like get acclimated to his style, which a lot of artists do when they do like when they transition from like artist they just have like the previous artist to do a little send off and then have the next artist just do his little preview. Let's do an issue just to get people acclimated. So it makes sense. But yeah, he did a good job though. Alex Milne did a really good job. It's good stuff.
All right. So is that all we have to say for today then?
I'm good. Unless Fletcher, you want to say something?
I gotta reiterate one more time before we sign up. IDW Star Saber sucks.
Okay.
That's all I have.
So again, next week we got an event. We're doing Dark Cybertron Volume 1. That covers issues 1 through 6, streaming Monday, November 14th at 7:30 p.m. So look out for that.
Dark Cybertron is the event?
Yes.
Oh, man. Gotta love Transformers and their fucking corny cliche titles, man. The fuck? Dark Cybertron. It reminds me of that fucking game that they made after Fall of Cybertron. Was it like Rise of the Dark Spark?
Oh god, man.
Awful. I'm getting like PTSD shakes because it's just ridiculous. Like, okay. Well, that's a cool cover though. That's a cool cover. And I would assume like Shockwave is like the villain, which makes sense why it was introduced in the last arc. So
is that Waspinator in the background I see?
Yeah.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm sorry, who?
Waspinator.
Waspinator turns into a wasp.
Oh, I love Waspinator.
That sounds dumb, but you know what? It's okay.
Just go watch Beast Wars.
Animated.
Was she in it? Okay, you know what?
Well, go watch Beast Wars first and then animated. You'll love Waspinator. He's the clown.
He's just the punching bag.
Question: Will I get more Grimlock in this?
No, but there are Dinobots in it.
I only want Grimlock. Grimlock's the only thing that matters.
You don't like Slag? You don't like Swoop, Sludge?
Grimlock, Fletcher. Just Grimlock.
Well, you got Slag who turns into a Triceratops, a fire-breathing Triceratops.
I think he's too good for a Triceratops.
He's not Grimlock. That's all that matters. Okay, he's not Grimlock.
Wait. Oh, I also noticed, is that G-Axis on the left-hand side? Well,
yes, he's also in this book. There's a lot of characters in this book. There's a lot happening in this book.
I think I see Overlord on the right-hand side, right? So he comes back?
No, that's Starscream.
Oh no, why are we in Starscream? I'm that annoying bitch. Jesus Christ. Okay. All right, fair enough. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I'll read the whole thing this time because it's like this.
Yeah, I recommend it because you're going to be confused.
Yeah, it's the culmination of everything, so that makes sense. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, so I guess that's it. We're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right, word. Yeah, so we'll just do the quick outro. So thanks to everyone who are watching this or who will watch this. We appreciate it. You know, we put a lot of our blood, sweat, and tears into this. So I think that I'm happy that it's kind of working out, I guess, question mark. Also apologize for the inconvenience for people who were trying to check it out earlier. We had tried to do OBS with this and it just didn't work out. So we had to quickly go to StreamYard for this. So we appreciate the patience and all that. But yeah, people just leave a like on this video. We appreciate that. If you leave a comment on what you thought of this arc, it's fucking madness. It's just nuts. It's just crazy. It's crazy shit. Be on the lookout for the next episode. We do that in 2 weeks. Also, be on the lookout for clips because I kind of paused a little bit on the clips. I've been busy, and those take time to edit. Editing takes time, apparently. So that's why there haven't really been any clips, but I've got some where I'm working on. So be on the lookout for that. Next week is gonna be a little busy just because next week we got an interview, our first interview with Pornsock Pinchishot, who is the writer we did for Infidel for a spooky special. We're gonna be having a little interview with him next week on Wednesday. So till Tuesday. So we'll record that and I'll upload it whenever I want. So there's that. We're going to be doing volume 2 of Sex Criminals, hopefully next week, which I'm very excited about. And we'll be on the lookout for that as well. Also be on the lookout for any After Darks because so much stuff is coming out. A lot of stuff is coming out, people. So because Black Panther Wakanda Forever is coming out, there's probably going to be an After Dark of that. And it's a lot. But yeah, just be on the lookout for more of the content and just be and appreciate the support on this Transformers series. A lot of you love your Transformers, apparently. I don't get it, but I mean it's fine. We appreciate it. And with all that, people, thanks again. Be on the lookout for more. Oh, be notified. Put the bell. The bell's important. We didn't know we had one, so bell to get notified on our next video when that comes out. And get on safe, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.